back in town. And by in town, I mean back
Favorite Humans.
into the podcast.
Are back in
Lazy
action.
ladies back in action.
So, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, Stef.
Welcome back, Marlies.
Thank you for welcoming me back.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for being here today. So, we thought that it would be most important to address the elephant, rather not elephant, in the room, is that my sister Stephanie got married but 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Happy 2-week anniversary.
It's about to be a month.
What? I thought it was 2
week.
weeks.
Next week.
All right, anyway. And we've been getting some questions like, oh my gosh, they just got engaged. Oh my gosh, why'd they get married so quick? So we're here to end all rumors of any suspicion of anything else, but take it away.
Guys, I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. There's no rush on this other than the fact that, sadly, we're still in a pandemic a year later, or almost a year later, and we just decided we didn't want to wait. So that's what happened, and that's the answer we're sticking to, because it's the truth.
Yeah, so it's not, I wouldn't say it's boring because it's not. I was there. It was a really, really good time. But I would say that, all of you little gossipers, maybe not the answer you were looking for, but that was it.
Sorry.
But we needed to address it.
Yeah. It was fun. So Pat proposed in December, and we got married in February, and it was just a nice little 8-person wedding with our family, as you all probably know already, but it was great, and we just didn't want to wait to plan something, so we just did the damn thing.
And obviously, the people that know you understand that you have event planning in your blood and career, but obviously, it came together as quick as it did because of your, your ties with a lot of people, and your experience and your love for it.
Yeah. And I would say that my thought is to anyone is it doesn't have to be that stressful and that hard. But, everybody's journey is different, and I'm just happy where ours has taken us so far. So, no, there's no baby growing in my belly. Sorry to disappoint anybody, but we're not there yet. So, anyway, we're excited. That has been a development since the last podcast I think we did about over a month ago.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
In preparation.
And we are still, again, unfortunately, dealing with this pandemic, but I think that we've been able to rise above mostly. And obviously everybody else who was more deeply affected by it, we still continuously send you all of our positivity. And we're just here today to spread a little bit more of that.
Yeah, well, I thought, this just kind of came to me, so I thought that I would ask you a few questions since you were a pandemic bride, and obviously you're doing it in a little bit of a different way than anybody else is.
Yeah.
Would you mind or care to answer a few questions? I didn't know this was going
to be an interview, guys.
No, I know. No, I know.
Nervous.
But I thought that it may be a good thing to talk about because you just kind of touched on it and it got the wheels going in my head. For anybody that has had their wedding pushed back because of the pandemic or had to evaluate what they were going to do, would you recommend what we did, or do you think it's not for everybody to do such an intimate? And I don't think everybody knows either. So talk about a little bit what exactly happened at the wedding, how many people were there, the planning into it, and you think, if it was right for us or if other people you think it would be good there.
Yeah. Well, there is no clear answer. Everyone has to there's girls and boys who have dreamed of this day their whole life. Mm-hmm. I did too, in a sense, but I always just kind of didn't have a true vision of it. Mm-hmm. My vision developed over the years as I've been in all my friends' bigger but really awesome and really different types of weddings. Mm-hmm. I don't tend to be the traditional type, and not because I'm going against it, but just because it doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, correct.
Or true to me, I should say, not right, true to me. So anyway, we just basically we had one of my friends, obviously, who's a really renowned, I think that's a great word for
that. That is a good word.
Caterer in the Philadelphia area and larger Philadelphia area. They came down, and I think that was a really great part of the decision process for Pat and I, so we didn't have to, just make it feel like a regular dinner for the 8 of us, which was just our immediate family members.
Absolutely.
So having the girls come do our makeup. So Lux Brides, which is Nicolette and her team, that was really important too. So that means you could feel pampered. Mm-hmm. And then I think just having the tent, so the party center, Chris and his team, that was amazing. That really created an ambiance for us outside of the house that we rented to really feel like it was a different space, just like a regular. And
had the means to do so because the backyard was a good.
Exactly, had the space to do so. Mm-hmm. And basically I just walked from the house to the tent at 4 o'clock. It was a 2-second walk, and Pat and I just said our vows pretty off the cuff, which was really nice. He was really sweet and prepared a little bit more than I did.
No, but it was great. But that's how you prepare for things too. It's more genuine when you say it.
Yeah, so it was really, and so we're eating by 5:30, so it was very simple. And the reason I'm just painting that picture is because I don't think that's for everybody. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people love the more, and not that I didn't feel special, I did, but more of like a crowd around to help it make it feel like a different type of day versus like kind of an everyday feeling. And ours was just much more simpler, and I didn't feel the stress during the day at all because there wasn't a lot of eyes on me. Yep. And I'm certainly not knocking that. I understand why a lot of people want that and want to have that special day because you've done it for everybody else and you've looked forward to it. But I don't think how we did it is for everyone. I think everybody really wants a little bit bigger of a party, which we obviously would have wanted and will do at some point in time. But it's not. I think it would have felt a little too simple for some people and maybe not as elevated as they wanted the experience. Sure. But having the vendors there really did elevate the experience and make it really feel special to us. So I'm really happy with how we did it, but I don't think it's how everybody would want their day to feel.
Yeah, and for everybody that doesn't know, it was literally Patrick, Stephanie, myself, my boyfriend Jimmy, my parents, and Patrick's parents. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yep. And then the vendors that were there. Yeah. So it was very intimate. When anybody asks me my, experience of it, how was the wedding, everything like that, it was very beautiful and intimate. That's what it will always be. And I think that's really special in itself. Yeah. Because that's not what everybody else's experience is.
Right, yeah.
And we ourselves tend to do that, tend to go on paths of kind of making our own experience of something.
Yeah, but I think
which isn't bad either. But
I think that also has to do with how close we are with our family.
Very true.
Not everybody has that intimate relationship with their family where they want it to be just that. But we got to really, what our desires, spend the time with the people we wanted to the most. And then our friends obviously have been amazing in understanding the whole situation and sending us stuff to the rental house. Like, that was just really unexpected. Oh, and we loved every second of that. And you have made it really special with all of the small things that you did and surprised me with, which was so nice.
Thank you. No, I thought that it would be important to talk about that because it could be comforting from, like, another pandemic bride to go through that and see, like, oh, maybe I never thought of this, but maybe this could be for me. Yeah. And if it's not, no, that's fine. Yeah. It's completely fine. I just thought that it was worth talking about. And
I feel like in this world today, especially, like, if the last year has taught us all nothing, it's that you have to be fluid in life, right? Like, you can't just be so rigid in everything. Like, I know we all have dreams and visions, but, like, sometimes if you deviate from where you thought something was going to go and you're not so rigid, that's when the most beautiful moments happen.
Totally.
And I just feel like that could sound really cliche, but it really is true. So if people kind of loosen their grasp on things a little bit more and let things be a little bit more fluid, which is not easy to do. No. I'm certainly not the number one success rate for that. No. But I think that you just discover a whole different part of yourself that you didn't know was there when you kind of loosen your grip and you let things flow. Absolutely. So that would be a suggestion of mine for people who get I need it to be this way, I need it to be this way. I would at least challenge yourself and say, do I need it to be this way?
Yeah, that's a really good point there. And before we wrap up the wedding talk, we have to ask you, or I'm sure people want to know, who you were wearing on this. Oh, who are you wearing on this glorious day of the life? Because it was beautiful, and I know that you kind of went back and forth. You're like, oh, what do I want to wear? Do I want to go all out for it? Do I want to wear certain things? Yeah. So let's talk about that experience, and then we can go on to the next subject.
Yeah. So I'm also going to tee up a couple of people I know we want on the podcast after this. So that leads right down this path. So I have not been stocking wedding dresses before Pat proposed, after Pat proposed, I love fashion, but I'm also a super decisive human being. Like, I don't like a lot of the back and forth and what happens in a lot of research of these things.
Yeah.
It's too much for me to handle, so I like to be pretty like, okay, let me look at a couple and then
I'll
make my decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I had not been introduced to Pronovius before. Pronovius is an amazing, I believe it's a Spanish brand, and I might be totally wrong, so I'm sorry if I am messing that up, but
I think it is.
I discovered them. They just opened a store in the King of Prussia Mall last year. They just had their year anniversary when I was going to do my fitting. As you know, you were there.
Mm-hmm.
And
amazing experience, by the way.
Yes, they were. So the Pronovia staff in King of Prussia was amazing. They made me feel like, oh, no worries. Your wedding's in a month. We'll find you something.
Yeah.
Really chill, no rushing, and I loved them. So that's what I was wearing on my bod day. And then my shoes were Badgley Mishka.
Ooh.
And then my earrings and my hairpiece were Olive and Piper. And my shoes, and I also got a second dress that I didn't end up wearing, but I know I'm going to end up wearing whenever
At some point, yeah. For another celebration,
yeah. I got that off of Revolve, and the whole Revolve, Olive and Piper, and Badgley Mishka, a new friend, I would say an acquaintance and now a new friend, helped me. She's an influencer.
Oh, nice.
Her name is Sydney, and she is Coffee Stained Lace on Instagram.
So nice.
So that's been a really nice starting of a relationship. She's really great with style, and she's a really great influencer. We have a lot of similarities. That's why well, it's not why I started to follow her, but I've noticed it when I started to follow her. Like how we are, what the things we like, just the way our mannerisms seem to be. And we actually met in person right after Pat proposed, and I started to decide I wanted to do this wedding kind of soon.
Yeah.
So it was really nice, and we got to have, a cup of coffee together, and we got to talk life really, quickly, and then she helped me pick out a couple of things because, again, I feel like I was equipped enough to do that myself, but it was really nice for someone to just give me a bunch of options and then me narrow it down.
And you make the decision
for
yourself.
what I just said about how I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it really was like a nice way for her to, I know she loves doing this stuff and she's pursuing a path of this because she's passionate about it. So it was really a nice experience for both of us.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, so that was fun. I liked meeting her, and we worked really well together.
I didn't even know that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think in the thick of everything, obviously, you were pointing some direction because you had most of, the grip on everything as you should have for the unique situation. But no, I didn't even know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. And it was another way to, as we've been preaching on this podcast, to help someone, who's, or not just her, but the people, everybody I worked with was like a local vendor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was really fun to help contribute to small business.
Totally. No, and that's great. And I think the overall experience, just with everything that I was involved in specifically, was awesome. Pronovius was great. Jessica is, if you're ever in Pronovius in King of Prussia, Jessica is phenomenal. The other staff there are great as well, but Jessica did help us, specifically. So it was a great experience there, and, the vendors in general too. It just meshed so well, and it ended up being just such a great day, and all working out. So just wanted to talk about that, bring that up a little bit, because that's why we've been kind of under wraps for a little. That's right. Coming down from it.
Yeah. And we also wanted to just kind of, again, approach that we've been almost a year into this thing as a world, and really proud of everybody's progression. It's not been easy. There's definitely been a lot of loss this time last year and throughout, but we just feel really blessed to know the people that we do, and everybody's been I feel like really great, leaning on each other, finding our way through all this in the beginnings of last year, and even still, but in the beginnings of this there was so much fear and anxiety, and I feel like a lot of people that are close to us, we've really helped each other find our way through it from so many aspects, and we've talked about them before, right? Like from an emotional standpoint, from a physical standpoint, from just the adjustment of not seeing as many people. And I know you and I were talking about it, which was what we want to talk about today, but like the nature of